Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm making a card using supplies that I got for Christmas cards to make a winter themed birthday card. I picked up some of the Sizzix, Holtz dies and stamps and stuff over the holidays, totally planning on making some holiday cards and never got around to making them. So we are going to use these because I don't want them to sit and wait until next year. And I am going to make a winter themed birthday card because I have somebody that has a birthday coming up. And I thought I would just go ahead and do that. Now I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm going to use the, I forget the name of this. It's Twig and Stump dies, as well as this, as well as this layered plaid die set. And I went ahead and picked out a bunch of cardstock that I think I want to use that's not Christmassy themed, and decided I would pick out a couple of kind of like a pinker kind of theme, some orange colors. I picked out brown and white. So we are going to go ahead and do our card. Now I know for sure I am using brown for the backside or the full piece of my two snowmen. And I also know for sure that I'm using white to cut out the snowmen themselves, and they have little cutouts, so when I put them together the brown will be showing through. So I know that is definite. After that, I have no idea what I'm doing. I did pull out a piece of glitter foam cardstock, or whatever you want to call this, and I plan on doing the snowflakes from the set, but I'm not sure if this is going to cut through. So I'm going to go ahead and do that since I already know that is definitely what I'm going to be doing. I have my die cut machine on the side here, so I am going to go ahead and run those through, and we'll be right back. All right, my snowflakes came out great. I thought they were going to be a little bit hard to get all those little tiny details, but it worked out fabulous. Now what I'm going to do is I definitely know that I'm going to use the little bit of the darker orange cardstock for our carrots. So I am going to go ahead and die cut those, even though I don't need all of those carrots. I only need one, but we're going to go ahead and die cut those. Actually, the carrots are done so that you can kind of create additional elements. You can kind of give some detail to it, but don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to go with the single layer and not do any of the actual additional layers. I am going to now pull up the plaid layers, and I am going to start for sure with the back layer. So that would be the full solid panel that's going to go on the back, and that is just going to be done on some white cardstock. And I'm going to grab some tape just to hold that in place so it doesn't move around when I'm die cutting. And we'll run this through our machine. All right, so that is our white piece, our back layer. And now what I'm going to do is pick from my other two colors here, or three colors, and decide how I want to do the layers. I think I'm going to go with the lighter color on the bottom. So that would be this thicker layer, and then the darker color in the two pinks on the top. So we are just going to get these out of here. We don't need these two colors. Set those aside. And the bottom layer is going to be, I'm just looking at that is the thicker. So the bottom layer is going to be the one that has the thicker plaid stripes in it. So we're going to do that on the light colored cardstock. And we're just going to pop out all of these pieces, and then we'll die cut on the darker cardstock, or the darker pink cardstock. And then if you're wondering, I'm pretty sure this is paper tray ink cardstock. This is pieces that I keep in my drawer that I've had for quite a number of years, and I'm just using up a lot of that. I kind of aim for that first when I'm doing cards because they're ready to go, and it is my older cardstock, so I like to kind of start using things to get rid of it and use it up before I can buy new. So I am trying to do that this year. If you didn't see my video for my 23 things I'm doing in 2023 or not doing, I will link that below. But this is kind of going along with that, is using the supplies I have and things that I've had for years that I've just never used. And we are going to go ahead and use those up. For example, these dies that I bought for Christmas, intending to make Christmas cards, don't want them to be sitting and waiting until next year, where it might end up that something new comes out and I get that and then these don't get used. So we are intentionally making sure that we're using our supplies this year. All right, so we have the lighter color. Now we're going to do the darker color. That's going to be the one with the thinner lines in it. And we're going to run this also through our machine. I already got that all punched out, and I kind of had a little fun poking those out. I probably could have brought out my little foamy brush to kick all of those pieces out of there, but I was just having a good time playing with it and getting it apart. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and adhere these layers together. So we have our white layer, which is our bottom piece, and that is designed to go a little bit larger. So we are going to put that piece down first. We have our white, we'll do our pink, and then we'll do our darker pink. And I am just going to use some liquid adhesive and get this all ready to go. All right, so I added some adhesive to the back of this. This is going to get centered onto the white panel that we cut out using the coordinating die. And we're just going to slide this into place. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for this layer, and we're going to put this right on top of this panel. So make sure we got it going in the right direction, which is going to be just like this. That is going to be so cute. I really like those two colors together. So we're going to make sure we have all of our little pieces popped out, which I see I forgot one right here. All right, added a bunch of liquid adhesive to the back of this panel, and I am going to go ahead and put this down onto the front and overlapping, so we have that nice plaid look. And I love these two colors together, so adorable. I'm just going to grab my bigger acrylic block, which probably need a second one to help me out here, just to make sure those are all going to adhere down good. So we're going to now put together our two snowmen. So we're going to layer the white onto the dark brown cardstock. So I'm just going to do that again with my liquid adhesive. There we go. Same thing with our smaller one. I could have probably cut these guys out in the white glitter foam too. That would be really cute. So make sure these are going in the right direction. So I'm going to go ahead and put our nose on, and I am going to, I'm just looking to see how they're done on here. And instead of doing the layers, I am just going right with just a single carrot or a single layer. Put that just like so. And then we'll do the same thing for this fella. He's got a big carrot nose. So cute. All right, so we have those done. Now I just need to decide what kind of scarf and hat I want to give my guys here. So slight change. So I was going to give both of my snowmen scarves, but I decided that I was going to do the taller one with the scarf, the shorter one with the hat. And the hat requires a little, snow or a little ball at the end of it. So I am going to use this little scrap of glitter foam here, and I'm going to die cut that so that I can use that as the ball or a little puff or whatever you call the thing that hangs off your hat. So we're going to go ahead and die cut that. Let's see, we just need this little guy right here, which we don't want to get him lost. And we don't need the other parts. We'll set those aside. And we'll go ahead and put this hat together. So our hat is going to be, trying to decide here if I want to do the apricot with the brown. I think what I'm going to do is do with the same thing as I'm doing with my taller snowman. I have the brown as my back layer and the apricot color as my top layer. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my adhesive to this. I'll get this layer put on, and I'm gonna need to refer to our little guide here because I am not 100% sure how this goes on here. So I am just taking a peek. How does this go on here? I think you got... All right, we're just taking a guess on how this goes on here. So this is our hat, and then we just need to add our little ball on the end. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put together my scarf on the other snowman, and then we can start putting our card together. Do have a little bit of stamping and one more die cut to do, and that'll be the end for die cutting. So we're just gonna go ahead and layer our scarf. Such tiny pieces. I know when Tim Holtz does his, he does his through the one of those sticker makers, the Xyron machine. I do not have one of those, so I just kind of get all gluey and sticky while I am making my things together, putting them together. So I was ready to put our hat on, and I realized it kind of wraps around our snowman's head, I think. It looks like it does. So I am going to put that on while I'm putting the card together. And then for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue to our taller snowman. We're going to go ahead and put our scarf on him. And we'll add a couple little drops of glue behind it. Okay. All right, so that guy's ready. We are going to go ahead and put our card together, and then the last thing we're going to do is our sentiment. So we have our taller snowman right here. We can go ahead and adhere him down. I'm really liking how this is coming together, and hopefully it comes together just as good in the video, because I feel like I'm doing a little bit of struggling with this one. So he is so cute. He is a little crooked, but he is adorable. All right, so we're gonna do this guy here, and his hat's not quite on right. We're gonna put that on after we get him adhered to our card here. So we have our tall snowman, our shorter snowman. I don't know who's who, Twig or Stump. I'm assuming this is Stump and that's Twig. And then we can go ahead and add our hat to our other snowman, which I think I'm going to add the adhesive to the back of this, because I'm not 100% sure if this needs to go on his head or around his head. So we're gonna kind of figure that out here. And I'm not 100% sure I even have that put together correctly, but it looks so cute. And we are going to kind of let this dry. I'm going to grab my block, and we're going to set that on there to dry, which I don't like that that's twisted a little bit. I keep touching it, which is making it worse. So I need to stop touching it. All right, block on there, let it dry. I'm going to stamp out a sentiment. I am using this happy birthday sentiment from this Simon Says stamp set that I have, and I like this happy birthday. I like the chunky font on this, and it does have coordinating dies. This is one that was in my stash, and I have that all set up on my MISTI just in case I need to stamp it twice to get that real crisp black ink. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this out. Probably need to get a re-inker for my Gina K ink. Okay, did go ahead and stamp that out twice. I'm now going to take the coordinating die and run this through my die cutting machine. And I am going to make sure this is on here correctly. We'll go ahead and die cut the sentiment. All right, have that taped down, have that set on my platform here, I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, and then we can go ahead and put our card together. I have an A2 size card base. That's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but I did notice that it is a little bit long for this panel. So I am going to probably trim this down so that we have even all the way around. I'm going to adhere this down just using some tape runner. So I'm just adding my tape runner to the back of this. I'm going to line this up, make sure we're at the top there. And line it up in the center, and then we'll take our paper trimmer and just trim off the excess that we don't need. All right, so we have that adhered down. That was giving me a little bit of a struggle. I'm going to take my paper trimmer and just trim this down so it's a little bit smaller and is kind of even along all the sides. And I think I was just about to trim off way too much. There we go, that's perfect. So it's not going to be quite an A2 size card, but it's pretty close. I am going to put my happy birthday sentiment on, and we are going to put that right about here, and then we'll add our little snowflakes that we cut out with the glitter. So for the happy birthday, I am going to pop those up with some foam tape. I'm going to put that right above our little snowman here. And then we're going to go ahead and add our snowflakes. So for our snowflakes, I am just going to use my tweezers and dot some glue onto the back of the foam. And then we have ourselves a nice little winter themed birthday card. Put that one there. And then I just have my last one to do, which is our solid but little. And for this guy, we're going to stick him right about over here, kind of coming out from underneath our sentiment. And that's our card. I think it came out super cute. And I think that it was fun to kind of figure out a way to use something that was purchased mainly for Christmas into a birthday card that's winter themed. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.